you're right. In a way, it's sad that I'm still doing it. I should be doing it. I should be retired now, living on my bloody speedboat, which I haven't got. But
Uh, I'm Colin Burrows, and this is the Wood-stein Media Podcast, episode 13. This podcast and Wood-stein.ca are produced on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, Anishinaabe, and Odawa peoples. A few nights a week, I work to bring in money to keep the internet connection alive at home to deliver this podcast and website to you. On the third Tuesday of every month, a motley group of old white men gather in a hall across the parking lot from my workplace. They amble in, looking like the ghoul in Night of the Living Dead, smashing the rock against the car as Barbara tries to escape the graveyard. As these decrepit masons wander amongst their oversized vehicles with briefcases in hand, I always wonder where their charity lies deepest, their fraternity or the community at large. Then I realize I have been part of a charitable secret organization for most of my life. In the mid-'80s, a friend passed on a cassette filled with knowledge that many people could not connect with. Oddly, that friend is the older brother of the Mason listed as the contact online for the local lodge. However, I would argue that the community I was swept up by has done a great deal more charity work, motivated more people to positive change in their life, and affected more positive change overall than a men's club could. I could be wrong on that. On this episode, I speak with Steve Ignorant. It was his screaming voice that was on that cassette, which sucked me into the punk rock community, fighting for positive change in our lives. This podcast and Wood-stein Media are independently produced journalism that you can support through Patreon or by donating through PayPal at woodstein.ca. That's WOOD-STEIN.ca. Thanks for your interest and support. If you enjoy this podcast, you can support it by listening to more episodes and liking, sharing, subscribing, or reviewing them. From Stations of the CRASS, that was You've Got Big Hands. For more information about any of the music played on this podcast, check the description wherever you are listening to this episode.
hello, mate.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks. Thanks for doing this. This is awesome. So I guess we'll jump right into it. Even though I mean, to me, it's like I'm talking to one of the Beatles or something. But other people, this podcast, I came from a little newspaper out here near Toronto in a small town. A lot of the people who might be listening to this wouldn't know you at all. So, who are you, and how would you describe you? How would you like to be described?
Well, my name's Steve Ignorant. I was one of the forming with Penny Rambar, formed a band called CRASS, which was originally a punk band. That was in 1977, and it moved on to become one of the biggest sort of anarcho-punk bands ever. It turned into this phenomenon. It's very strange. I know a lot of your listeners won't have heard of me, but around the world, a lot of people have. And it's this very strange thing that, people say, oh, Steve, you're famous, or you're well known. And it's very strange that even though Crass in the punk world was big, it's almost like it's not a cult following, but it's a sort of specialized following. I mean, I was talking to someone the other week, and they said that when they wear a Crass t-shirt, they're guaranteed that someone will come up and speak to them about it. Whereas if they wear some other punk band, it doesn't happen. So it's that symbol, and it's what our band did, So
So yeah, and that symbol is that for people who don't even know CRASS, it's that cross with the snake biting its own tail,
yeah,
sort of little. As I said when I was lining this up with you, I'm trying to talk to people who have affected my life positively, and I'm part of that small group of that large small group of people who were affected by CRASS. And I grew up in an extremely conservative area out here, so I needed voices like that to break in there. And a friend bought Stations of the CRASS and didn't understand it, so he gave it to me, and I broke out that huge lyric book that was in the cassette, and it changed my life, and I went down the rabbit hole from there and never really came back up. So I mean, different ideas. It hasn't always been you screaming at me, but you helped send me on a path that made me look for alternative ideas to what I was hearing. And how does it feel now, 40 years, like almost 50 years later, to know you were part of a catalyst for something that caused people to become active, to fight for change in small ways and sometimes big ways, and it's brought positivity to the world? How does that feel being part of that 40 years?
well, well, it's a mixture of feelings, really. I mean, on one hand, I don't. Part of me doesn't understand it because all I know is that I was the lead shouter in a punk rock band, and all those years ago, none of us, and I've said this so many times, but not none of us ever thought that. I mean, the reason we called Feeling of the 5,000 the Feeling of the 5,000 was because we didn't think it would sell any more than that. We thought it would sell maybe 50 or 500. We had no clue, but now, I mean, it's the mixture of feelings. When people like yourself talk to me, or all the people I speak to at gigs, or wherever, it's just incredibly humbling. To feel like I've been a part of that. And I don't feel like I'm a messiah, or anyone special or anything like that. I think I'm pretty good at the job I do, but that's about it. But it's humbling and it's gratifying. And I think if you want to talk in terms of were Crash successful, well, yeah, in that sense they were. Maybe not money wise, I haven't got recording studio. I haven't got a big car or a speedboat or anything. I can't drive anyway. The success we have had is, endlessly meeting people like yourself and talking to people, and that's the success. That we did have an effect.
I saw you in Toronto like 10 years ago at the Opera House. That was
Right.
a great concert. You were playing the CRASS songs then, and
Yeah.
it was being, not that I mind this point, but it was being touted as the last time you were going to play them, but you're still playing them, and I love the fact that you're still playing them. So my question around this is, what keeps those songs relevant for you? And is it sort of frustrating that those protest songs are still as relevant today as they were at that time?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole point of that Last Supper tour was going to be the last time I ever performed CRASS songs live, me and my big mouth. So we did that tour, and I started doing other things. I started doing my other project, which is Slice of Life. It's that semi-acoustic thing. A lot of people come up and saying, "Well, why are you not going to perform those songs anymore?" And I said, "Well, I've been doing it for 40 years or something." And they said, "Well, how would you feel if you went to see David Bowie and he was alive at the time? How would you feel if you went to see David Bowie and he didn't play some of your favourite songs of his?" And I went, "Well, I'd tear my ticket up." And he went, and they said, "Well, exactly." And a lot of people getting in touch with me on the internet and social media and all this. So, Steve, you've got to keep doing it, got to keep doing it. And eventually I came around to do it. And I thought, well, do I feel ashamed of doing it? No, I don't. Are those songs still relevant? Yes, they are. Do people out there want to hear them? Obviously, yes, then I should do it. But, I'm stressing the fact here that the moment it feels that I'm just going through the motions, or it becomes, I feel it's embarrassing, or it's just a pastiche of what CRASS used to be, then that's when I will definitely stop it. I think what's keeping me going with this is the sad thing is that, yeah, those songs are still relevant. You've just got to change a few politicians' names, that's all. But the subjects we're talking about, it's still happening today. I mean, we were rehearsing during the COVID thing. We were doing a Zoom rehearsal, and we started doing They've Got a Bomb. And we started doing it, and all of a sudden I had to stop. And everyone said, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Yeah, it's just like Ukraine war just kicked off." And I just said, this song has suddenly become so relevant to me, and it's like almost like I'm back at 19 years old again, just starting. And that was so sad. It really upset me.
from CRASS's incendiary debut, The Feeding of the 5,000. That was They've Got a Bomb.
So that's driven me on to do it. And also the people in the band that I'm working with now have somehow injected a freshness into the songs. And it's almost like those songs could have been written last week. So it's exciting me to do it. I'm keeping going with it.
On that same sort of a subject, I was wondering, since 1977 or so, how have your personal politics changed in relationship to the music you're doing? And is there any songs that you don't feel a connection to them anymore, or that you don't do?
There are some songs that don't just sort of work that we've tried. I mean, Nagasaki Nightmare we tried, and for some reason it just wouldn't work. It was very strange. So, but we're going to try it again. But there's a couple of songs that would be pointless to put in the set, like the song about Gary Bushell, and when we play outside of England, I tend not to perform Mother Earth because that's a very specific song about what child murderers in the 1960s in England. So people in Germany won't understand that, and I don't think many Americans or many Canadians would understand it. And besides which, that is such a, for some reason, a close subject to my heart that I always feel a bit strange singing those lyrics, which is horrible. That it's about horrible subject, and yet there are people jumping up and down to it, dancing to it, and I'm like, oh, this feels wrong. This feels wrong. So there's certain bits and pieces, but no, on the most hand, we choose very selectively what works, and what doesn't, and it's. You're right. In a way, it's sad that I'm still doing it. I shouldn't be doing it. I should be retired now, living on my bloody speedboat, which I haven't got. But
uh, Speaking of speedboats, you did take time. You were working out kind of a version of like Coast Guard and that sort of thing for.
yeah, it was a lifeboat, independent lifeboat.
Okay.
So we would go out on sea and rescue people and stuff like that. So I did that for 5 years.
Interesting. Even when I hear about that, it's even that is something you did with other people in mind, sort of, and that's a theme through the music. Crass is a community band for me, and your newer stuff too. But and that's what I want to go into, like 21st century Steve Ignorant, slice of life. You still have politics in there, but you also have lyrics that deal with the inevitability of aging and things like that. And with the slice of life, two things. Will there be more? Because I noticed you're concentrating on the Steve Ignorant band, and will there be more of that? And can you talk about what motivates you and drives you when you're writing those newer lyrics?
Yeah, well, firstly, there will be more slice of life, but obviously, the working out the touring for the Steve Ignorant band, Grass thing, sort of tends to fill up my head. So I mean, I've got a garage just over there, and that's where I go and hang out. And all over that, I've got sheets of plywood, and in Sharpie pen, there's all these lyrics just written down as they come into my head. They're sort of written down, and I'll put that in a song. So slowly, but I've been in the studio a couple of times, and I've laid down a couple of very basic piano tracks. And what motivates me is just things that I feel, or it's what why am I so angry today? Right, because I had to wait. Even though they said my medication would be there on Tuesday, it wasn't. I've got to wait another three, and it took me an hour waiting for that to happen. That kind of thing. The price of things. This the fact that in this the area I live, it's beautiful countryside. But the local council, I don't know what the equivalent is in Canada, but they're just so intent on building concrete roads and houses everywhere. It's just like, we've still got homeless people, we've still got people who are having to go to, free food places. And yeah, so that all comes into it, but really, I think what I'm also talking about in my lyrics is that really that I've lived longer than I'm going to, so now got a sense of my own mortality, and that's when you get that. That's like, it's real. I am getting old, and I'm not going to get any younger. Oh, I've hurt my foot. Oh, that's going to take 2 weeks to heal, where it used to take 2 days when I was younger. depression, despair that I can feel and other people feel as well. So I address those issues. And the fact that sometimes I feel that I don't belong in this world. That sounds a bit odd, but I watch advertisements on the TV, and they have absolutely nothing to do with me anymore. It's all this new technology, it's younger people, and somewhere I've missed something, and suddenly I'm this 65-year-old bloke, stamping my feet up and down in my living room, swearing at the TV screen. So that's, I don't know. I just feel, and do I like? There's certain aspects of this modern world that I just don't like, and it reminds me of my grandparents. And I'm like, well, why? So it's this strange thing, yeah. So that's what I try and put into Slice of Life.
I don't want to get you just talking like some old curmudgeon here, but could you expand on a little bit of the modern world that you don't like?
Well, this constant, like okay, you've got a problem with your electricity. Yeah, okay, ring this number, right, automated voice. Oh, if you want a thing, press 1. If you want a thing, press 2. If you want blah, blah, if you want to talk to a human being, press 5. Right, so, oh, you're number 67th in the queue. Shit music comes through with headphones, the fuck's sake. And a lot of the time, it's like going for, when I have to go apply for a work permit to go to the United States. Right, that's all, you have to do it all on your computer. Right, and it just drives me to distraction, because there are certain questions in there that don't make sense to English people. It's what's the name of your high school? We don't have high schools in England. It's there's no one to talk to, and I think that's what it is. And it's moving on so fast, that people are. It's even now, rather than in England, certainly, rather than seeing a doctor face to face, you're more likely to be doing a telephone interview or a Zoom meeting, and they'll diagnose you through a computer screen. Well, that's just fucking great, because how can you, without pressing my chest, yeah, I've got a pain just here. Or does it? Yeah, of course it hurts. I'm pushing it, but it's just, yeah. So I'm just anyway. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being a miserable. I'm enjoying being grumpy. I deserve it. I fucking worked hard enough for it. It's my anger. It's my boredom. I'm entitled to it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll send my pedestal. You're spit on my grave. I'll crucify myself for your pleasure. Don't you ever call me slave, 'cause I've made my bones. I've chosen my route. When a pistol trigger and it's time to shoot, I'll take every chance till my last gasp. And if this is the way things are, it's the way it's meant to be. You can read. If this is the way things are, it's the way it's meant to be. No more crying, no more weeping tears, 'cause I've got no time for your indulgence. Won't entertain your fears, 'cause I've made my choice. I found my first, I know where I stand, and I'll raise my hand. A mountain moves, and there's the proof that the sky's the limit when you're faced with truth. I'm a fucker with a mission. Who's at the top? The pimps that surround me won't let me stop. They could be fed, it's a trend, it's my blood they spin. Good scratch crucifixion, don't get you in the end. And that's this, it's the way things are, it's the way it's meant to be. It's this, it's the way things are, it's the way it's meant to be. It's this, it's the way things are, it's the way it's meant to be. Ask me what I fight for my country. I'll tell you I'm already at war against a mass mentality and attitude that threatens my life and yours. With it, ignorance, it's greed, it's brutality. Calls itself a society. I consider myself at war I consider myself at war. I consider myself at war. I consider myself. And if this is the way things are, it's the way it's meant to be. If this is the way things are, it's the way it's meant to be. If this is the way things are, if this is the way things are, if this is the way things are, it's the only way to be. Get cynics. Cheers.
For fuck's sake, they're doing it on purpose now.
Recorded live at Ramsgate Music Hall, April 5th, 2019. That was Steve Ignorant's Slice of Life with The Way Things Are. Okay, and what does the future hold for Steve Ignorant then? Like, what can we see? You've had books, lots of touring, still going on, and music. What's the future?
Well, the future is I'll keep doing this. We've got, I think we're doing this sort of CRASS sort of tour thing. That's going on until next year, and maybe hang on, what are we now? 2023. Yeah, so 2024 we're doing as well. But then I think that's going to ease off, and we'll just do when it's relevant to do it. Then we'll go out and do it.
Is that going to come to North America? Any of that?
Yeah. At some point,
Okay.
yeah. We're working on it, desperately working on it. We're trying to get everywhere we can with it, and then after that, so I'm going to be bringing out another book soon, which will be really a sort of, you could call it a scrapbook about the tour we did last year in Europe and England. Lots of photographs and little comments. Then I'm going to do another book with a friend about the punk community in the local city, which is called Norwich. I'm going to do a lot of photographs from the 70s in that, so I'm really intrigued in that one. And just little bits and pieces like that, obviously more slice of life stuff will come out. So yeah, just watch this space.
Okay, awesome. Really, it's just been a pleasure to talk to you, have you gab at me for a little while, and
Excellent.
So thank you very much for doing this.
Colin, it's been a pleasure. Thanks very much.
All
and
right.
I hope to see you over in Toronto in the not too distant future. So
yes, I hope so too. I'm looking forward to seeing those listings go up.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, when we meet up, you're buying the first beers.
All right.
That's a date. Okay, I'll hold you to that.
Okay.
Okay, well, you take care, yeah?
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
An anarchist, but no one ever tried to jump a bully down the staple. You'll never be the system, but for me, number 10. Sit the test of my
That clip was the life-affirming message CRASS ended their anthem, Big A Little A, off with. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Steve for the interview, and also thanks to his wife, Yona, for setting it up. Check the description wherever you are listening to this for links to more information, or visit Wood-stein.ca. That's WOOD-STEIN.ca. You can support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Colin Burrows. Like, share, comment, follow, and support Wood-stein Media and this podcast, and have a nice day. Now, here's Steve with Slice of Life, ending the show by asking, do they owe us a living?
I can't stop effing and blinding, apparently in my sleep, says Yona. Oh, you know, and it's a bit like being drunk when you're walking home. Put the key in door. Fuck the bleakly minded. Something I want to say. Better state of the nation where they trace the dame. Ask school to give you shit. Drop you in a pit. Try and get in a big con because they fucked you about. Then you're a prime example. There they mustn't be. This is just a sample they've done to you and me. Do they owe us a living?
Of course they do, of course they do.
Owe us a living?
Of course they do, of course they do.
Owe us a living?
Of course they fucking do.
Don't want me more. Throw it on the floor. You just call me sweet thing. I know his plaything. Now that I'm different. Love bust my head. Love see me cop out. Love see me dead. Do they owe us a living?
Of course they do, of course they do.
Owe us a living?
Of course they do, of course they do.
Owe us a living?
Of course they fucking do.
That'll do then, wouldn't it? For that. Yeah, I know. Whispering in Ramsgate. Oh, what the fucking hell do you want, mate? Jesus Christ. I can't wait to get to the chip shop.